What's up, Internet Land? Zachamus Prime, aka Zachamus Prime, here with another Transformers third-party review. And the figure I'm reviewing today is the Ocular Max Medicus. And yeah, he's actually a really good-looking figure. Of course, Ocular Max is made by Mastermind Creations, and they have got so many sublines, some of which are kind of defunct nowadays. But their all-in-one line is basically combiners that you don't have to have any additional combiner parts. And their Bruticus ended up being pretty good looking. And in fact, I've got a friend of mine who is loaning me his G2 Bruticus guys as they come in. So we'll be seeing more reviews for that. But he's also loaned me the first guy, and this is definitely not first aid. I would be an understanding person if you mistook it for streetwise or first aid. But there he is, and I actually brought him out with his gun in hand already. That's his only accessory, by the way, is this little gun right here, molded all in black plastic. Little folding handle for storage. Fits into either palm. He's got this like tab in the back. It doesn't like fit in. It doesn't hold on its own, but it goes home, and then you can curl the fingers around it and he holds it just fine. But yeah, just the one accessory there. The sculpt on him is really good. Not a whole lot of paint work on this guy, which I'm not ready to say that's necessarily a bad thing. Of course, you know, with it just all mostly being bare paint, or bare plastic, it does look more plasticky than you know, figures that have a lot of paint on them. But like, I don't know that that's necessarily a bad look in and of itself. Of course, this is coming from a guy who, you know, I grew up on toys that all look plasticky, so I'm not really worried about that per se. I guess what I'm getting at is it's not bad looking plastic, if that means anything at all. But he does have some paint on him on the chest there. These sections here are painted. The guy who this is on loan to me. The guy pre-applied some Autobot symbols to this, but yeah, some paint on these windows, emergency, this little symbol here, not sure exactly what that means, probably has something to do with it being an ambulance. A little bit of blue and white on his face. They probably could have stood to make the blue just a slightly lighter shade, so it pops a bit better. But all in all, it's a clean looking figure. But let's get into his articulation. So his head is on a ball joint. It will look down, it will look up. You can do the transformation joint to get him to look hella up. He's got this like wonderful little boxy head. So of course, in the G1 days, all of these guys, they connected via their head. Their head was the connection peg. And so, like, all of these G1 figures all had these, like, square heads. And I tell you what, man, I had so many square-headed Transformers when I was a kid that, like, the whole square-headed vibe, like, really gets me. And this guy does a good job of that. Arms go all the way around. They go out for the full tree post. There is a transformation joint here that, honestly, it does not peg in. Like, there is a peg on this panel here, and then there's like a divot that the peg fits into back here. But it does not lock in. It does not latch in. It doesn't stay. It doesn't do anything. So when you want to move his arm up, it is far more likely to move at that transformation joint than it is at the actual shoulder joint. So that's a thing to keep in mind. But like, You know, if you know about it and you compensate for it, like, it's not necessarily the worst thing. I feel like they could have done that a little bit better. Bicep swivel here, double jointed elbow for the full run. It's got a swivel at the wrist. Thumb is on a ball joint. Each finger is curled for the typewriter fingers, but they're separate, so I don't know. It's like 6 of one, half dozen of the other. He's got a waist joint. He's got an ab crunch. His skirt armors get out of the way on all 3 sides. Leg goes that far forward, that far back. That's fine. Goes out for the full Van Damme. Full bicep swivel here. Single joint at the knee for 90 degrees of bend. Foot articulation is a little bit weird. Like, you've got up and down motion on here, but the foot is like this like weird looking flap. So like, he will move his toe forward. It'll just kind of look a little weird when it gets in that position. Toe does move independent of that just a bit, and this flap does move independently as well, just a bit. And you've got ankle tilt, like all of it, like the Van Damme level of ankle tilt. So, all in all, articulation is good on him. But yeah, let's get him transformed up. So, I think for this guy, sorry, just had to have a quick little stretch. Alright, I'm going to start with the legs for this guy. So what you want to do for the legs is open up this panel here. You're going to pull this whole panel forward. See how that separates there where it says emergency? Of course I closed it back up, so now I got to do it again. So that's going to pull forward a little bit and then open up. Then you can take this and rotate it, though you will need to disconnect. There's a tab right in here. So you can get this little thing wiggling free. Rotate this around. Let's rotate it around the... no? Yeah. This back of the thing is going to come out. You've got this bizarre looking construct in here that you're going to fold out like that, and then fold this part up like so. Bring this little panel in, and then bring this back up. There's a peg. Yellow. Yeah. There's this peg right here that you're going to kind of need to pull around, get it into position. It'll peg into a spot. You're going to bring this in like so, fold that part up, and then when you bring this in, you're going to fold these little bits into there, and then this is all going to kind of peg in together. And then there is a tab that you need to make sure gets folded out. And then you're going to, I'm going to fold this up just to show you. There's a slot in here that slides. You want to slide it all the way up till it clicks, and then you want to fold it in like so. And that is a leg all done. Let's do the same on the other side. Pull this out, bring this out, fold this up, fold that up. Disconnect this tab in here, bring this all the way around. Watch for this little peg right there. Bring this panel out, fold that around. You want to slide this down, open up this, fold that back in like so. Bring this back up, that in, peg that in, close that in, close that up. Make sure that's all the way slid down, then double joint this around. Make sure this little tab is folded out, and boom. Pretty painless thus far. Oh, except that I forgot to do one thing. I forgot to get these guys, these thighs, to go all the way till they're touching. No thigh gap here. For this next section here, I'm going to bend this ab crunch forward as much as I can, just to give me some space. And we're going to take his hand, fold in his thumb, fold in his fingers, rotate the hand 180 degrees. Open up this part here, and then push through and open up that panel there. There we go. That's going to fold in. That'll close. This elbow will fold in on itself, and then this tab on the inside of that flap is going to plug into this slot right there. And we'll do the same for the other side. Yuck, I'll do it again. Open that. Open that. Bring this around, close that, collapse this, plug that in. Boom. Now what we're going to do is bring his head back on this transformation joint. That'll allow you to pull this panel forward. You can fold his head in and close this on top of it. You can take this panel here, bring it out. Let's bring out these first. Open that, open that, open that, open that, open this all the way. This whole section is going to slide up, and then you're going to fold this down and then fold this out like so. So down and then out. With that in that position, you can bring this guy around like so. Fold it up at the shoulder joint, and then there's a little peg in here that's going to fit into a slot there, and then there's a peg here that's going to fit into a slot there. Boom, boom, like that. Again, with the other side, get this into position. Boom, boom. Then take this guy, rotate it all the way around. And then you want to kind of fold up these part way, but mostly just to get the clearance so you can take these tires and push them down, back, like so. And then you can take this gun, you can fold it up. It will fit into either door, either there or there. Your choice. If you had two of them, then you could stick two guns in there at the same time. But for a paramedic, I think one gun is more than enough. Bring these into position so they'll tuck in here. Bring that into position so it'll tuck in there. There's a little tab in here that you gotta basically seat by hand. And then this is just gonna fold up, fold in, fold around. It's kind of like zigzag in like that. And then you want to bring this in so that those tabs plug in. That one started to come out of alignment. Fold down his, and there he is. And he is a little van. Little WHAM-bulance. This kind of like smoky clear blue for the windows. It looks nice. It looks nice, but like you don't get the same sort of effect back here. Now they did use some sort of a gloss paint. Yeah, that's a paint. They did use some sort of a gloss paint for this, but like not the back windows. Like I feel like there's some inconsistency in the windows. And while I get that there's nothing to look at, I feel like translucency for the sake of translucency is a little bit overrated. If there's something to look at, then it's good to have that. But like, you know, they should go all painted or all plastic inserts so that it looks windowy, you know? But anyhow, rubber tires, hopefully that doesn't deteriorate in a number of years. Rolls all right. And nothing really else to say about it. Ocular Max Medicus. This is actually, this review is short enough that it almost feels like a Hasbro figure. It's very easy to handle. It's very posable. It looks good in both modes. Like this gets a full recommend from me. But anyhow, thanks everybody for watching. You guys are fantastic. Everybody stay awesome and be good to each other. See ya.